bylaws, goals, policy, and personnel meeting on October 14th, 2024 at 8:34.
Eight.
I'm sorry,
6:34.
6:34.
I was gonna say, did I miss something here? I don't know, I think I slept, didn't I?
Okay. Trustee Belendis is here. Trustee Santangelo.
Here.
Trustee Monahan.
Here.
We have a quorum. In addition, we have Chris Pesco. Okay. Public
Yes.
comments?
Yeah.
SK.
Oh, and I'm sorry, SK. Okay. Damian Harrison? Hi.
Hello, Board Trustees. My name is Damon Harrison. I'm a citizen here in Elmwood Park. I'm also running for school board. I've been living here my whole life, so it's always close to the place in my heart. And I just want to come before you because in March 2024, I met a wonderful lady named Donna Cleason. As we both worked as election judges in the primary election, we had hours to talk of all sorts of topics. One of it was the 2025 April election, which I'm going to be running. Here, Donna told me the aspirations to have the League of Women Voters to hold a forum for the candidates here in Elmwood Park. As a candidate and someone who loves and supports my community, I thought this was a great opportunity to hear from candidates and what makes them stand out. The League of Women's Voters chapter has assisted in neighboring communities like Forest Park, Maywood, with similar forums, has done so as nonpartisan organizations. This chapter includes members who are residents of Elmwood Park, making it clear that they are very much connected to our community, refuting that the organization has no standing within our community. The League has a well-established process for organizing these forums in a neutral, nonpartisan way, ensuring equal opportunity for all candidates to participate. As a candidate, I would appreciate this chance to speak directly to voters, and as a citizen, I believe it would promote greater civic engagement. At your last meeting, I know that this was brought up, whether or not something like this could happen, and understanding that it was denied. So I know it's like appealing if it could happen. And I know the attorney actually in the board meeting, I wasn't here, but I did watch it from home, actually said explicitly and improperly cited a candidate forum as an activity that is permitted under the library's policies. Yet, despite the clear legal guidance, the request continues to be denied by Director Consiglio. I have to ask, why is the director denying such action from taking place? I know the attorney had said that if the Republicans wanted to have a meeting here from Leiden Township and the Democrats from the Cook County wanted to have a meeting here, they could. So why can a nonpartisan forum take place that doesn't have political sides? I'm a little confused by that, but if a certain political organization did, they could. I'm confused. What are the alternative motives of not wanting the voices of sitting candidates right now and candidates who are running to be heard? This is a library, a place of learning and civic engagement, and so to me, this would be the perfect opportunity to have those voices heard and to have the community come all together and hear what they're going to be voting for. I understand that there's concerns about neutrality and that this is a nonpartisan campaigning organization. And it's a professionally organized forum where all candidates would be invited and would have equal participation. Denying this request actually limits the transparency and undermines the library's role in promoting informed civic participation. There is not 9 different terms of transparency as was cited before this board meeting. And so I just hope that you guys would consider this and so that no one's heads will fall off. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. All right, next on the list, we have Julia Bell.
Hi, I'm Julia Bell. I don't know Damien, so I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I have a kid home from college, and I took some time to think about this, so I'm going to just read it mostly as read. Damien did a really good job explaining the mission of the League of Women Voters of Oak Park. The last statement on their website is, "We never support or oppose candidates or parties." And as he noted in the September meeting last month, Council, you said at 1 hour and 21 minutes that the Cook County Democrats or the Leiden Township Republicans could hold a meeting in this room, which is very interesting because pushback has included that the League of Women Voters are not from Elmwood Park. But Elmwood Park residents are members of this group, and the Oak Park League of Women Voters come from many different communities. And as Damien said, they've done voter education and candidate forums in Maywood and Elmwood Park. They tried to register voters, young voters in Elmwood Park. But regardless, the people who they want to draw to this open forum, candidate forum, are only Elmwood Park residents. So that argument makes no sense to me and totally contradicts what the attorney said in September. In fact, council said partisan groups are allowed to gather here, as you said, Damien, Republicans, Democrats, independents. Explaining the policies drafted does not prevent political activity. It prevents the advocacy of a particular candidate or one-sided position, as in the case of a referendum. In follow-up discussion, the only comment was from Trustee Fosco at 1 hour and 22 minutes in the video, who agreed with you, and then you all tacitly agreed because no one voiced concern or said a thing when asked for further comments by you, Trustee Pesco. The motion passed, as you know, with only one vote from Trustee Monahan. Again, at 1 hour 20 minutes, council specifically stated that a candidate forum is allowed if candidates are all invited. So how in this world was this request where all current board members who wish to run again and anyone who wishes to challenge them for those seats, the exact scenario your attorney described, how was this denied? The League of Women Voters does not need library staff to run the forum. They need the public space. You are obligated to open it up, as all libraries that I know of do all the time. This is not political. We're talking about using a public forum to help all voters become educated. Elmwood Park needs the help. In the spring of 2023, turnout among eligible voters here was 13.6%, and I think that's terrible. This is about voter education and making candidates compete in the marketplace of ideas. It's not about someone puts your name on a sign and you don't have to do anything except show up. You have to come and state your position, be challenged, explain what you've done, and a lot of you have done great work. I don't understand how this could ever have been denied. It's the foundation of what it means to be an American and why a public library should promote and support events like this. And I hope you'll reconsider and allow this open forum to happen next year. And in fact, I can't believe it's not a political liability or a legal liability to you to deny an open forum, again, where everyone is included, no one is excluded, no one voice is heard. It's for everyone. It's for the good of this community, and I do hope you'll reconsider and allow that in 2025. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Anybody else? All right, so next correspondence, we received a letter from Mrs. Cleason with the appeal for the meeting room use for the candidate forum. And that was the only correspondence. Unfinished business. Do I have a motion to approve the September BGPP minutes as presented in the committee packet? Any discussion?
You had some changes, right?
Oh, yes. Under the motion, wherever it's the first motion, in the minutes, it says that it was made by Trustee Belendis. It should be actually by Marissa, I believe. Trustee Santaljo?
Which one? All the,
Where are we at?
all the motion by and seconded by. We have Allison there, but she was absent. So it's got to be swapped.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Trustee Santaldo.
Yeah, because you,
I wasn't here, right? So we need to amend the motion, right? So, Marissa,
I guess I can.
I'll move to amend the minutes to change trustee Belendez to trustee Santangelo and all of the
Motion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Under new business, I would like to make a motion to recommend we deny the request for exemption to our meeting room policy as requested by Donna Gleason. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right,
Discuss, yeah.
Um, I don't know how we could possibly deny that. It's very clearly permitted under the policy. I don't know if we just heard the public comment, we were here last month, it was used as an example of exactly what would be permitted. I don't see how we could possibly justify not permitting a resident from reserving the room explicitly allowed for that to take place.
well, I think it's in the best interest of the library operation to keep it the way it is,
But I think
and the community.
that's what he's saying, though, is I think our policy allows it.
Well,
So, I mean, defer to the legal person, right? Because the policy's written as long as they invite everybody, or?
Yeah, so if you'd like me to clarify the policy prevents the use of a meeting room because of a particular candidate or issue. So, for instance, a vote no referendum, like a vote no or vote yes party on a referendum,
Right.
or a specific candidate.
Mhm.
So this would not be prevented by that. Well, the League of Women Voters having a candidate forum is not prevented by that part or that section of the policy. I'm not aware if there were any other considerations made towards the, I mean, there's other facets to the policy. I'm not aware of any of the other facets that might have been considered or might be applicable here. But just in terms of that language would not prevent a meeting such as this.
So,
So you're saying as long as all, excuse me, as long as all the candidates were invited?
Yeah, well, there's not an affirmative standard of what the event would have to meet in order to be held. What it is a prohibition on hosting an event where one particular candidate or position is proposed. And that language comes out of the election law. So I don't have any kind of chart or like boxes to tick in terms of like what would meet that standard. But certainly one of the things that we talk about is if it's politically neutral and all candidates are invited, then there's not one particular candidate being supported. So that's an example of the kind of event that would not be prohibited by that language, which is like negative prohibition language.
So I think we're getting conflicting responses from legal, because Carmen Forte back in May, this is how he responded, but how is that different?
Yeah, so it's the question of whether there's advocacy for any money that is being spent on supporting any particular candidate. So if you invite one or a few candidates and the whole thing is about advancing a particular viewpoint, then yes, that's prohibited political activity. But under the language of the policy, the end of the prohibition is if one candidate or viewpoint is being supported. So if you developed information from this application that led you to believe that either no other candidates were going to come, and there would only be, one or two or less than the whole slate that would be afforded the opportunity to have an open forum, then that might be troubling, or potentially, would potentially violate the policy. That's a consideration that could be made.
And then, yeah, so I guess only if they hold the forum, I think that's what Carmen's
Right.
comment here was, if they held the forum and it was one-sided,
Yeah, absolutely.
then they
that's-
wouldn't be allowed to do
Right,
it
yeah.
again, or something like that. But
Yeah.
if they didn't invite all the candidates and appeared to want to have,
Oh, absolutely.
right,
Yeah, all those
one or
things are-
another.
So I haven't seen the actual application that
Right.
was made, and I don't know, like I was saying, I don't know if there's other considerations cause I'm talking about on a theoretical level at this point. But, exactly, like you say,
Right.
if that would be considered political activity that would be allocating resources to a particular political candidate or issue, which would be prohibited and is prohibited under the policy.
Yeah, and I think Director Consiglio's worry was if it were to get out of hand, which there's no reason to believe it would get out of hand, or if there was somebody who needs to be there to police that and see that they are doing a unbiased,
Right, so,
Approach.
like I said, so there
and
could
that'd be
be
a
other.
staff thing.
Right, so there could be other factors or elements to the request that might cause, some consternation. But purely from a theoretical view, the policy doesn't prevent, like, that type of, just categorically.
Right. It's up to you guys in committee if you want to recommend or not. You can send it to the full board. You're going to send it to the full board anyway.
Should we talk about it during the regular meeting, the board meeting?
Well, you got a motion on the table. You can recommend, or you can put in a denial. It doesn't matter. That's going to be the motion you're going to put in the regular board meeting, and then there's going to be discussion there, and that can flip flop there too,
Yeah.
depending on what the discussion is. I mean,
Based
Pete's
on
the
what we
only
just
one that's
heard,
not
hearing
here.
how a denial would go against the policy that we all voted, I didn't, but everyone else voted in favor of, I move that we recommend committing this to the full board.
I think you can easily amend your motion and put a recommendation in.
And then
Gotta
bring
go
it,
to-
and then bring it to the rest of the meeting.
The
Yeah.
full board.
You're recommending as a committee to the full board to allow an exception be made in this case, or to even just allow it to be used, because it's not really an exception,
Yes,
because it's not breaking the rule.
You're right.
Sorry,
so
there's no public comment at this time.
it would be it's what's been put before us is an appeal of an administrative determination under the policy. So the director made an administrative determination, so it's not characterized as an exception and there's no exception, it's just a review of the decision of the director.
Right.
Based on the policy.
Right.
Or,
Your interpretation of the policy.
right,
At the second meeting, right.
Yeah, in the next meeting, then they can
Right,
just
the
make a
second
motion
meeting
to-
is when I wrote the letter to Carmen,
Okay,
You're
because
talking
of
about something, this is completely off topic. You're talking
Yeah.
about a different meeting of a different group of people.
yeah.
So just a point of order, what's the different topic?
Yeah, so it'll go to, so whatever you guys choose to bring out a committee, then it can be discussed in the regular meeting. When the full board's here, really, it's two other people.
I think I would like to amend to bring it back to the regular meeting.
Oh.
All right. All right, any other discussion? I mean, no, we're bringing it back to the meeting.
second for that amendment.
You are,
Yes, I'm making amendment to bring it back to the regular board meeting. And do we
Okay,
need a
I'll-
second?
Oh, wait, he's second, so
with the recommendation from the BGPP committee?
Yes. Okay.
I'll second that.
All right, motion passes to, so we'll discuss it at the next meeting. All right, moving on. Do I have a motion for the approval of anti-harassment policy as presented in the board packet?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. And do I have a motion to approve the local history policy as presented in the board packet?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Do I have a motion to approve the library reimbursement policy as presented in the board packet?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the study room policy?
Make a motion.
Mike, did you understand the comment what I changed on here?
Yeah, if we-
Can I
Yeah,
have a
discuss it,
second?
so-
Can I have a
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yeah, I want to bring up one point, the changes that I made. I made two changes. First is that an Elmwood Park library card, anyone can have a meeting room, but we want to know who's in the room. Because they are starting to get filled up, and then there'll be a preference then. And then the other change is that we have to make sure that everything's unplugged in the room for fire code.
Yeah, can you explain though that process, so why it was important to have the addition of an Elmwood Park library card?
The reason,
If you're.
you know what, it's more we're trying to figure out who's in the room. You know, is it a majority Elmwood Park, is it not? We've been just taking an ID and giving them the room, and some people come in like it's their home office now for a considerable amount of time. Then if 3 people come in, then it's like 3 reservations, and then people aren't getting to use it. So we're just in preparation that we start getting overbooked on the rooms, because we most likely are gonna lose study room 1 upstairs. So we'll be limited, 1 less room.
So basically, you're gonna use the Elmwood Park library card as a preference,
Should-
if it's need be. If there's
If
one who's,
no, not necessarily. We wanna track who's in the room
okay,
first. It'll still follow by the same rules that you have 2 hours and so forth. You don't get kicked out of the room, but you could only have the room for the allotted time based on the policy.
can't stay all day.
Right. It's just in preparation in the future if we do have to do something, change the policy, more drastic for just an Elmwood Park resident or not. Right now, it's majority of the people are not from Elmwood Park.
Oh, they're not?
No.
Oh,
It's unclear how having an Elmwood Park library card would help you determine, right, just saying any library card, you would be able to.
That's
determine
how
the
it
same
was,
thing.
any library card.
So isn't this the same?
No, because you can have a Chicago library card, a River Grove library card.
But so now you have to have an Elmwood Park library card?
No, you could have any ID. You could have any ID to get a room. The room is open to anybody. First come, first served on appointment. With an Elmwood Park library card, you could reserve the room ahead of time online.
Oh, so this is specifically for the reservations
Yeah.
in advance?
Right.
Okay. I don't think it's clear in there, but okay.
Well, if you want, we can make a note.
Why don't you just make a new sentence that says Elmwood Park Library card holding residents can get advanced reservations.
Okay.
So can I move to approve the policy with the addition of the line, an Elmwood Park library card is required to make an advance reservation?
Okay, and do we need a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. And I guess, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Okay, meeting's
All those in
adjourned.
favor?
Thank
Do
you.
all those in,
Aye.
Oh, aye. Sorry. Meeting's dismissed.
What time?
Elmwood Park Public Library Board of,
Not right.
Board of Trustees at 7:31. Madam Secretary, will you call the roll?
Trustee Monahan?
Here?
Trustee Gordon? Trustee Narayan?
Here.
Trustee Santangelo?
Here.
Trustee Belundis here. Trustee Fosco?
Here.
Trustee Pesco?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Awesome. Our account balances, as of October 10th, 2024, the total general fund checking stands at $118,250.99. Our gift fund balance stands at $16,804.43. Our building fund balance stands at $233,696.69. Also, as of October 10th, our total reserve account has $604,350.81. And then our total cash balance stands at $973,350.81. And our general fund year-to-date expenditures for 24-25 are $1,036,190.22. That again is as of October 10th. On our consent agenda tonight is the approval of the September 2024 board meeting minutes, the approval of the payroll for October 2024, the approval of the medical insurance for November 2024, the acknowledgement of the treasurer's report, the approval of the IMRF check for November 2024, and the approval of the general fund disbursements for September 2024. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Fosco. Do I have a second? Trustee Narayan. Thank you. Any discussion? We do have a minor change in some of the minutes, Mike. We have on the minutes of one of the motions. So the motion of the consent agenda last time showed absent 2, so there should be no absent. I can email you these, so with the exception of changing the absent 2. You know what, I wonder if we should just table this and have the corrections made for the next meeting? And then we approve in the next meeting? Because there's others too, because these were all roll call votes, and they need to have listed the trustees and how they voted versus the voice vote. So let's do that. Do I have a motion to,
Can I add one more thing before?
Okay, go ahead.
Just so it's, included in there. Just the final motion under new business. That might be what you're saying,
Yeah.
but okay, there's one nay.
Right. So, but you can give them all those for the next meeting. So, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda with the exception of the meeting minutes from the September board meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, that's amended by trustee Belundis. Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Santangelo. Any other discussion on what's in? Awesome. Can you call the roll on that one?
Trustee Monahan?
Yes.
Trustee Narayan?
Yes.
Trustee Santangelo?
Yes.
Trustee Belundis, yes. Trustee Fosco?
Yes.
Trustee Pesco?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Awesome. Correspondence today, the note, email from Donna Gleason, correct? That's in your board packets. Anything else? Madam
No,
Secretary?
I did not get anything else.
All right. Public participation, Jack?
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jack Bauer. I have a few questions. Though the details aren't public, in 2021, the board ended its relationship with the previous director. The resignation and release agreement, which I had a chance to review, gave 16 weeks of paid administrative leave and stated the director performed admirably and would receive a favorable reference. Was this termination with or without cause?
Other comment, Jack?
No comment, okay. Director Consiglio's 2022 contract read, the library director's employment shall be at will and can be terminated at any time, with or without cause. However, the library director's new contract states, the board will provide not less than 60 days' notice in the event that it elects to terminate without cause, and that the severance payment in the case of termination without cause will be a lump sum payment equal to 20 weeks of compensation. This means if the board terminates the director without cause, that moment he is entitled to 28 weeks of compensation, amounting to over $63,000. To me, this is a lot of money and a huge disincentive that effectively ends the at-will nature of the position. Especially after such a generous package was given to the former director, can you explain why an even more generous severance was added to this new contract? Okay. If you compare Director Consiglio's 2022 contract with the new contract, they are noticeably different. In the addition to the severance payout, there is a large pay increase, a strange $25,000 lump sum payment each September, a section about bonuses. The 2022 contract was clearly written by an attorney. I have it here if anyone wants to view any of them. Could you tell me who wrote the 2024 to 2027 contract?
Could be our attorney. Go ahead.
Okay, your attorney wrote that. Okay. If anyone wants to read that, please do. What was the rationale to committing to these lopsided terms through April 2027, even though a majority of seats on this board will be up for election this coming April?
You can look at the meeting minutes if
They're not in
once
the
they're
minutes.
released.
That's
Once they're
fine.
released,
Sure.
you can find them.
They're in
Executive committee.
executives. Okay,
Correct.
so I can't see those minutes,
Maybe.
actually.
If we release them.
Okay, well, will you release those minutes? No, right?
See.
My neighbors and I pay our property taxes to support the library, and we expect the board to be a responsible steward of those funds. This is far from responsible stewardship. Again, I ask, what do the taxpayers of Elmwood Park get out of such contracts that give out tens of thousands of dollars in handouts in the event a director is no longer wanted? Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. Anybody else? Julia? You're on twice.
Trustee Fosco, at 6:30, I spoke and reminded the board of what was said in September when your attorney explained proper use for meeting space, and this is specific to the League of Women Voters that want to hold an open candidate forum for library trustee, and I believe also, or hopefully for school board. And libraries do this all the time. I'm gobsmacked that you are hesitating to allow this organization to hold a forum when it meets all of the requirements that the attorney laid out and that you agreed with. You were the only one who agreed after she described what was kind of required to have an open forum. No one else had any comment. So now we know that this is an organization that is nonpartisan and doesn't support or oppose any candidates or positions, does not seek to advance any agenda, is strictly interested in forming people. I reminded people at 6:30 that only 13% of Elmwood Park's registered voters voted in 2023. So again, this organization meets all the criteria. It has no agenda. Everyone is invited. Everyone is invited. Everyone who's running, everyone who wants to run. If the room is open and everyone is given proper notice, I don't understand how you could potentially consider denying the opportunity to have a candidate forum here. It happens at all sorts of libraries. It's basically, and in terms of who the women voters are, you know, they might be called the OPARK League, but they're not only OPARK women, and they do work in all sorts of communities, and it's really to benefit the residents of Elmwood Park, who have a right to know who you are, what you did, what you're going to do, and if someone can do it better, they have the right to understand what that position is and to vote for someone else. And I'm not actually criticizing any of your work. I just feel like you don't like the way it feels, and it doesn't really matter how you feel. This organization has met the requirements of your attorney, and you agreed. And Trustee Fosco, you agreed with this. I mean, I have the timestamps of this whole conversation in September, and I hope you will reconsider, and I think maybe some of you are, because I'd really like to hear what everyone has to say, new candidates and the current candidates running for re-election, which I think include you, several of you, I think 4 of you. Anyway, I've never seen that happen. I think it would be a great idea. It would be good for Elmwood Park voters. And I hope people would come. I hope people would come. I hope the candidates would come, and I hope residents would come. So thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Anybody else? Awesome. Moving on, director's report.
Okay, I got a couple handouts. We can pass this out. I'm passing this to you. You already have it in your book, but I want to give you a copy. I am passing out a financial analysis that I'm going to review. I have that. And the last piece is a picture of 13 strollers outside the room. And that'll tie into some other things that I'm gonna discuss.
Sounds like a book.
Okay. Couple things that I want to discuss, and the first is the community survey results that were done. Out of 1,425 possible responses from 287 patrons, only 9 responses were negative, representing approximately 0.63 or 0.6%. Notably, only 2 of these negative responses came from patrons who visit the library frequently. Although this is a tiny percentage, addressing these concerns is essential for continuous improvement. The negative feedback largely centers around customer service, physical facilities, and digital resources. To respond effectively, the library should acknowledge the concerns, showing patrons their feedback is valued. Improvements could include staff training, enhanced customer service, especially for younger and middle-aged patrons, and addressing issues with physical environment such as seating, lighting, and cleanliness. Additionally, expanding and improving access to digital resources like ebooks and databases may alleviate dissatisfaction. Engaging with dissatisfied patrons directly and monitoring the impact of these changes will demonstrate the library's commitment to meeting the community needs while maintaining a high overall. So you can see that the percentage of the survey, the library is viewed very well in the community. Another thing I want to talk about is the programming growth. So as you can see it on this chart, total programs increased 68.4%, from 481 programs to 810. Active programs made up 30% of the increase, and passive programs increased by 139. The kids programs increased by 314%, mid-kids 246%, a 300% increase in family programs. Adult programs decreased 30%, but attendance grew at 33. Overall, the program attendance increased 78%, from 9,504 to 16,919. And for the first 5 months this year, we're already at 9,000 people. So we should exceed that. We're getting more adults involved in passive programming. Family program has had a huge increase, and that's grown by 163%. And that has a lot to do with our increase in cultural programs. Baby programs attendance dropped. Our babies are growing up and going into the next category. So factors contributing to growth is expansion of programs specified by age group, increase in passive programming, enhanced adult engagement, and community engagement. Okay, what's next? Well, we have a problem with capacity. And today I had the fire department out here, and for some reason the capacity on the room was removed upstairs in the Imaginarium room. We can only have 20 people. The space is measured out at 310 feet after all the deductions are made for the chairs and the tables. So we've been moving programs down here to fit the needs. So for an example, in October, we're moving 5 programs that are normally upstairs down here. This is a problem that's happening. To alleviate it, we have some expansion ideas that we're exploring with grant money, or partial grant money, but we are going to have to make an investment in the library. So on that, I think that explains a lot, and all the numbers are check and balance, and you'll see by what we spend, what other libraries spend, and the numbers are good. And anybody needs a booklet of every single program, who did it, how many people were there. I had given you that before, but I do have books available. Another thing I want to talk about, which is very important, it ties into what some people are talking, is about tax dollars. Okay, tax dollars and levy, and what we levy is very important to the community. Elmwood Park levies $2,087,000 to help fund the library. That's basically $85.15 per resident. 2 libraries are similar in attendance. Rolling Meadows Library is at a 4.295 with a average cost per resident of $177.51, twice the amount what we do. Eisenhower, pretty similar with us, they have a $5.2 million of an average of 217. I think the levy comparison in Elmwood Park operates the lowest in contrast to all these other ones. Traditionally, one of the other problems we have, and I've been pointing this out all along, now, a lot of these numbers tie into what I've been preaching from day one about key performance indicators and metrics to measure on what we're doing. So it's all coming together, and these are the basis of how we're going to move forward and how we're going to measure ourselves. My concern, these other libraries have reserve balances. We don't have any reserve balance. We have $1 million. You can see that on your balance sheet. These libraries have over $5 million. I can't comment on theirs because I don't have enough information other than their balance sheet numbers. But budget to budget, you know, we're operating good for the village, but we're going to need more money. And at the 6-month mark, which is at the end of this month, I plan to have a 6-month state of the business for the library and where we're going to go the next 6 months and the following 6 months. One of the things I told you from the beginning, it's easy for me to tell you where we're going to be back today. If you remember my interview process, I told you, but my job is to figure out where we're going to be in 5 years. I identified programming as a big need to this program because I had seen that we only did 9 new programs the prior year. My staff has exceeded that. And we get questioned, and I have supporting data for anybody who wants to question the data. Books are available. The bottom line is, look what we're charging the residents. The last analysis that I want to give you is a comparative analysis. That was another term that I preach out to you. That's this piece of paper. Again, the top part represents, and it shows you how many people Elmwood Park has 34, Rolling Meadows 57, and Eisenhower 59. If you look at the programs that we're doing, Eisenhower is near 1,000 programs annually. We're at slightly over 800, and Rolling Meadows is slightly under this as of 2003 numbers that we received. So what I wanted to compare here, because everybody's concerned about what people make and what we spend and everything here, is the top portion represents the budget numbers for the senior leadership team of Rolling Meadows. That total cost comes to $1,115,000. Now that could be an explanation of why their budget is so big and why their level is so high. The same positions that we hold have a cost of $429,000. That's a $686 savings just on that. That's that much of a budget hit. One of the things, and you know what, I don't want to pick at anything, but when you're used to doing numbers, the first thing that I noticed here is the IRMF numbers are a little bit overstated. IRMF is only 3.9 of the salaries. This is at 10%. Health insurance costs might include the total cost, including the reimbursement amount. That's high. But nevertheless, our numbers are a lot lower. So the second part of the analysis is what I do for this village compared to what another village does with those functions. And and I show that I am saving, compared to Rolling Meadows budget, $352,000 with me doing the multiple assignments for a lump sum payment of $25,000 every September 1st. I think the numbers speak for itself. Another thing to address, just so we're all well aware, my salary is $90,000. The average you had seen in the surveys for a director is $120,000. Even if you add in the $25,000, I'm still well below the average. So I'm not making the most in the state. I'm making a fair wage for what I'm doing in the library, and I think the results show that I earned the money that was fortunate enough that you voted me in. Any questions about the data? Okay, the only other thing I want to mention again about the 13 strollers, like I said, the fire department, I'm really concerned about this. One of the things I'm concerned about is at times that it could be at a moment notice that we might have to cancel a meeting that's scheduled. Okay, we're pretty booked up. Right now, we're trying to figure out going forward what times and how many times a week that this room is open. That's I'll have that information for the next meeting for you. But we are concerned about it.
Yes, this is the biggest room we have, right?
The biggest room we have, capacity is 60 people here.
All right. Do you have any other questions for the director about his report? Please see him after the meeting. Anytime you can see him. Got an open door policy. So let's move on. Anything else, director?
Can I make a quick mention that we don't have an open door policy because he's refused to meet with me?
That's not true, Mike.
You
That
said,
is not
you said
true.
there's nothing in my background that makes me worth listening to.
Well, this is,
Okay, we can move on.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
just
you know
wanted to
what?
chime that in. We can move on.
We can move on.
bring that up with him.
Yeah,
All
we
right,
can
so
discuss
building
that.
committee,
There's nothing to report at this time.
awesome. Thank you. Bylaws, goals, and policy. I understand there was a meeting before, so is there a motion by the committee chair to recommend a reversal of the director's initial decision with the limited information he was provided for the denial of a request for a meeting room space for the League of Women Voters?
Say that again?
That's the motion. Is that the motion you're making? That from your meeting? Is there a motion by the committee chair to recommend a reversal of the director's initial discussion
That is
or
correct.
decision
Yes.
with the limited information, okay?
That is
Motion
correct.
by trustee Belundis. Do I have a second?
Second.
And by trustee Monahan. All right, now some discussions. Madam Lawyer, what are the effects of our reversal on this, if we pass this reversal? Does there still need to be an application? Did you get an application? Because all I got was an email.
Right. Oh, we got
that
an email
has-
that. No, it was a verbal request what I had received.
Do we have a date or anything else?
No, no date, no nothing.
All right, so they still
No
need to
year,
put in
no
an
month.
application and
Right.
everything?
Yeah, so an appeal process appeals whatever the administrative determination that was made, by the director. So the director implements the policy, and then when he makes a determination of the policy, it's appealed to the board. Now, if you're now saying that there's not actually, that this was sort of an initial exchange of information, and there's not, like, a booked date or anything like that that was discussed or presented, or other details on the application form were not submitted, then if the reversal reverses the determination that, I mean, it would reverse the determination that it's categorically denied under the policy, but it wouldn't necessarily, like, automatically approve the meeting. You would still obviously need to apply and go through the process
No,
of,
we
like,
don't have an
booking.
application
Yeah,
yet, right?
Yeah,
So-
exactly. So
okay.
it would reverse the director's determination just based on the initial exchange, just the limited, limited to the policy. Yeah.
So was the original request made verbally then?
Mike?
Yes.
It wasn't in writing?
No.
Well, so they still have to put in an application, and then we can approve it
Right.
then. When they put in the application, we know the dates, all that stuff. So there's nothing to approve tonight because we don't have an application, but they're not, if they put one in, it's not out of its face, the initial determination with the information
Correct,
we had
yeah,
doesn't
correct,
violate the
yeah.
policy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so there's a motion on the table to change to reverse the director's initial decision so they can still put in an application. Any other discussion on it?
I guess I'm confused. So we don't have to, there's nothing to overturn or to appeal at this point because there's not an official
Application.
application
Right.
in.
Yeah,
So would the next step be letting patron know, submit an application?
right.
Yeah.
You're basically, you're not categorically denied, please feel free to submit the application form.
Right, exactly. Any other
It's just a
discussion?
form, the questionnaire about what's specifically gonna be done.
Well, whatever form he's got
We're
for them to
gonna-
fill out for the meeting room use.
Right.
Okay.
Normally, they send an email with the content. We're gonna come up with a formalized form
Okay,
that we could all agree to.
sounds like a plan.
So would you like
Application,
to-
excuse me, application.
Would you like to deny each to, or choose process if it's accepted?
Right. Essentially, we're just saying that initial determination
Okay,
is okay to put in the application.
you need the motion?
No, we have the motion on table.
So basically, they can't raise the money for candidates or get signatures or anything.
Right, well, as I said earlier, and I do wanna make it clear that my comments earlier and now are kind of based on the theoretical implementation of the policy, because I'm not looking at anything in front of me, but, so it's quite possible, and I don't know the specifics as proposed, I don't even think, I'm not sure if anybody knows the specifics as proposed at this point,
Right.
if there's not an application in. But it's not to say that, it's guaranteed that the proposed meeting doesn't violate any other parts of the policy. It's just to say that it's not categorically prohibited by the prohibition on events that might support a particular candidate or position.
Right.
So if there still was any other detail that would not pass the muster of the policy, it potentially could still be denied. But it just won't be theoretically or categorically denied based on this limited amount of information.
Right.
Okay.
So continue on and put in, yeah. And if you need more clarity, you can always ask Ann after the meeting. too.
Yep.
Any other discussion?
No, sir.
All right.
So
let's-
we're keeping the exception under that policy as is, that's what we're talking about? or-
We're saying that they can go ahead and put in their application for the room. That's what
Okay.
we're saying. Basically, but the motion's there.
Mhm.
And that there is no exception to the policy.
Yeah.
It doesn't need an
It
exception.
doesn't need
to
an
the policy.
exception, yeah.
Exactly. All right. All right, well, since it's such a good question, can you call the question?
All right, trustee Monahan,
Yes.
trustee Narayan,
Yes.
trustee Santangelo,
Yes.
trustee Belundis, yes, trustee Fosco,
Yes.
trustee Pesco,
Yes,
motion carries.
awesome. Okay. Any other policies to surface up? The board? Do I have a motion to accept the anti-harassment policy as presented by the building committee, by the BGPP?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion by trustee Santangelo. Second?
Second.
Second by trustee Monahan. Any discussion on the anti-harassment policy? I know you guys looked at it and
Yeah.
tested it out. So the documentation requirements,
Yeah,
where did you get those from?
from the state, we all had to take a webinar class once a year annually. The first part, I have a book if everybody wants one on anti-harassment from the state of Illinois. And then I wrote up the policy that you see,
Got it. So this is the first time for this policy, right?
first time.
Okay. Well, it's gonna have to be reviewed by a lawyer before we can approve it,
Right.
though, right? So do we have to
Right.
table it to review, pending legal review? Okay, so do you want to amend your motion, trustee
Okay, I'll-
Santangelo, to table pending legal review?
Table to pending legal review.
Are you okay as a second?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries to table.
Do all these?
Take a note. Well, I think the next one, probably a motion to approve the local history policy pending legal review.
Okay,
And table
Um,
pending legal review.
so they're all the same, right?
Yeah, so, anybody motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by trustee Sandejo, seconded by trustee Monahan. Any discussion on the local history policy? Again, is this a new policy, or was this already
It's
existing?
existing, no changes except grammar.
Okay.
Yeah, does that need to be reviewed even? It's-
We don't know if it was
Yeah.
reviewed by the lawyers
No.
before.
Yeah, let's get it reviewed, and I did have one comment about, underneath the purpose of collection, it says, the history of the community that our patrons call home, it should probably need to say maintain the history of the community. I can, so you before you send it, it's more of just a grammatical
Yeah.
deal. All right, the motion on the table to table that pending legal review.
I'll
Any
make
other
a motion.
discussion? No, they already motioned. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carries. Do I have a motion to table the library reimbursement policy pending legal review?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Belundis, second by
Second.
trustee Monahan. All right, any discussion on the library reimbursement policy?
That is brand new.
Okay, one question I had on it, what about volunteers? So it covers library employees. Do we need to have anything about volunteers and the expense they incur? Or should we just say employees and volunteers?
I mean, we have one volunteer, and that question did come up today. Well, he's moving to Norridge, and he basically, well, I got to pay for gas to come here, so he's resigning, and he's going to go to the other library. So that is a point.
Well, couldn't hurt to have it in there, I guess.
Yeah. But then we have to figure out what expenses are reimbursable by a volunteer. They're not taking training. They're not making any deliveries in their car, and they're not using their cell phones.
What if you send them to a conference?
It's highly doubtful, but we could put that in there.
Okay, up to you. I mean, I could go either way. I'm just didn't
No,
know if you have
it's
an
real.
approach for volunteers.
I'm gonna. My job is to follow the policy that you approve. So it's really up to you what you want to do on that one.
Right. And then the second thing I have is.
Or you could tell me is deny any voluntary reimbursement
Well, yeah, we can
expenses
do that.
too.
It's up to you. The other thing on submission of claims is 30 days enough? I know when I'm doing my expenses, sometimes 30 days is not enough.
Okay.
Depending on what's
I
going
mean,
on.
up
I
to
agree.
you. If
I-
you think, unless you don't have,
But
if
it's
you don't have a
little-
problem with
I
them
don't
getting it
have. I
in,
don't have a problem.
you can leave it.
here. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
People want their money right away.
Those are the only ones I had on that policy. Any other discussion on the motion? All right, the motion on the table to table the library reimbursement policy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And do I have a motion to amend the, well, does this have to be legally reviewed, the study room policy? Do I have a motion to pass the study room policy
It was approved.
as, yeah, let me get the motion on the table. Do I have a motion to get the study room policy approved as presented in your board packet tonight?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Centangelo. Any second? Seconded by trustee Nardi. All right, so a little discussion on that. So this was already reviewed previously, right?
Right. And approved.
And approved. And so just the one change for the library card?
Two changes.
Okay, so we have the add a sentence that says Elmwood Park Library card is required to make an advanced reservation.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one?
The other one was on the back page. It's highlighted.
Make sure the space heaters are unplugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can I suggest we just say staff will ensure that all space heaters are unplugged? Wordy there.
I will change that wording.
Okay, so trustee Centangelo, are you okay with amending the motion
Yes.
to accept the study room as presented with the exception of adding the line,
The space.
Elmwood Park Library card is required to make an advanced reservation, and adjusting the sentence, staff will ensure that all space heaters are open?
Yeah, that's fine.
And
I hope
are you okay
not.
on the second? Okay, any other
Space
discussion
heaters.
on that policy? Nope. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. Finance Committee, 2023-24 audit.
It started today. Initially, we had to fill out 37 questionnaires, supply information. Today, we probably had to give them 40 or 50 samplings of all kinds, from payroll, from invoices, everything. So I think this audit should go a lot quicker. Last year they were here 5 days. I think normally they were here 2 weeks. But this one, we were well prepared for it. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. And what the auditors do is they make sure and they ensure that we follow all the proper accounting rules. They'll validate all the processes. They take a look even at our website for our policies and for our minutes and agenda. It's pretty, and then they'll go through HR's items also. If you remember, we didn't have too many, I'll call it dings against us. You know, there might be a missing receipt, but other than that, I don't foresee any problems at all. So we should probably get the results back, hopefully like we did last year in December. We have the same two auditors, so we're pretty well familiar with it. So I will keep you abreast if anything changes.
All right. Anything else from the finance committee?
No, sir.
Awesome. No unfinished business. Does anybody see a need to, a motion to move to executive session? I don't believe so. Okay. No action resulting from the executive session, that only leaves one thing left on the agenda.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn from trustee Bosco. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Monahan got each on that one else. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned.